Ladies and gentlemen, it's indescribable. I can hardly force myself to keep looking at it. So awful. The eyes are black and they gleam like a serpent. The mouth is a kind of V-shape with saliva dripping from its rimless lips and seem to quiver and pulsate.
Every time Saint thinks he's out, Alister pulls him back in. The promise of an eerie missing persons case is enough to pull him away from his home and back into the field. For Alister, this is an opportunity to come back into the fold of the department, after a long-dreaded meeting with the director, Agent Gray. Competing stakes and conflicting signals weigh on the mind of each investigator as they drive separately to the Austin Art Museum. Matty, that's a judgment call I made on Saint's behalf. Sorry about that, but it feels like after being in the Alister mobile for so long and away from your precious motorcycle, that Saint would perhaps want to drive over there solo.
Yeah, hashtag my bike. No, I agree. I don't think it's necessary for him to come get me. And I think Saint is like, I'd like the flexibility of being able to like go where I need to go if we want to split up at any point.
Oh yeah, I don't think Alister even like suggests picking him up. I think it's like meet me at that.
Yeah.
Like, okay, you're in, meet me at the art museum.
Yeah, totally.
Exactly. The two of you have arrived at the art museum then. You are just in the parking lot. The building looms ahead of you. Anything you wish to discuss prior to going in there, or?
Yeah, Alister gets out of the van. And we'll walk over to Saint and kind of cheat his, just kind of almost without thinking about it, just angles his body so that nothing that they do, like nothing that they hand between each other or what they're saying wouldn't be visible on a CCTV camera from the building. I don't know if there is one, but he just instantly goes into kind of like a little bit of spy mode where it's like, I don't want any record of this, even if it's not like specifically something that needs to be clandestine.
Man from Uncle Ass.
Yeah, pretty much. He maybe, does Alister like original Man from Uncle? Much to consider.
Yes, much. Alister's top 3 favorite TV shows, quick.
Doesn't watch television very often.
Okay, so 0.
No, I'm sure he does have favorite TV shows.
He doesn't watch TV. Come on, The Wire.
I mean, maybe. Yeah, he probably would be.
West Wing.
Too idealistic.
Wow. Damn, it's like I don't even know him anymore.
No, I think that he would like The West Wing, except I think it mostly reminds him of his annoying, more successful older siblings.
Oh, very fair.
He's like, yeah, this West Wing sounds like a great idea, but like, my all of that's my older brother and all of his obnoxious college buddies. Actually, they would probably be the Republicans on the West Wing. So anyway, this is a digression that I don't need to follow. Under that cover, Alister holds out to Saint a prefabricated fake FBI special consultant badge, complete with Saint's photo. It is his driver's license photo. Don't worry about it.
Nobody has a good driver's license photo.
It's one of those, you don't want your fake FBI like badge to be like too good of a photo. It would look suspicious.
That is actually very true. My work ID photo is also not great.
Yeah, my work ID photo was so bad that so many people's were so bad that they said you can send us a selfie. So that's really nice because the other one was fucking dire and really just did not look.
I took my own work ID photo and it was still not great.
Shit happens.
Shit happens. Anyway, okay, so I have my consultant ID.
Yes. Anyway, so and he just does say, as while he's holding it out, that for the purposes of this investigation, I have been authorized to operate as Agent McAndrews. So,
aren't you already Agent McAndrews?
It's a stretch This
and
part
so
is a stretch. So this is a tool. If we need it. Any number of colorful characters consult with the Bureau from time to time, even if they don't like to admit it. So if we're separated for any reason, this gives you a reason to be there.
Okay. Saint takes the ID with a slight grimace. Yeah, just like that, Ben. Yeah. I'm glad I wore my nice jeans. He puts it in his jacket pocket. Oh man.
There's a phrase that's fine. Plan A will be simply to not get separated.
I could do that. Yeah, I think that is for the best.
All right. I will let's head for the trying to decide if Alister's wearing a suit for this one. I guess he is. He's got just like a really boring suit, really boring tie. And to anybody who knows what they're looking at, I would say it's probably a much higher end suit than your average FBI agent would be wearing.
Contrasted with Saint wearing like genuinely like jeans, but like okay jeans. But he is definitely still wearing like boots.
Yeah. Yeah, he's probably got like does he have cool motorcycle boots?
Yeah. I mean, if only for like practicality's sake.
I have
that
no
he like
acquire.
untucks his jeans to like pull them over the boots.
Oh my god. The four Roman columns of the Austin Art Museum loom above you as you walk up the marbled stairs toward the entrance of this fabled Hall of Art. When you step in, the air conditioning matches the outside temperature in a way that's slightly unsettling. The room is cavernous. The front desk is unattended. Each step of yours echoes and ricochets off of the internal architecture. Matte color signs to the various exhibits are on display, including one with a familiar name, Optico by Maurice Clayborn. The end date of the exhibit has passed. A woman in high heels steps out of one of the back corridors. You could hear her approach from a mile away. She reaches out a hand from a long draping black dress. She has a shock of white hair and rose-tinted eyeglasses that mask her smile lines. As she extends her hand toward you, it's hard not to notice the sapphire-tipped rings on her fingers. She wants you to notice, and holds her hand that way. Good evening, you two must be with the FBI?
Yes, ma'am. Agent McAndrews, this is Special Consultant Garcia Flores.
Yeah, Ezra? Hot?
Look, Alister unmoved. Me? Hello. I have a thing.
I know, I was
art
just
teacher
thinking
chic.
like, damn lady. Hell yeah.
I just, unfortunately, middle-aged art teacher is like one of my favorite types.
No, I think it's cool that you're into Femme Andy Warhol.
Yeah! Sure. Yep, Femme
Sorry,
Andy
that was
Warhol
the
can
sound
stay.
of me being shot by a bullet. I'm recovering, don't worry about it.
Original flavor Andy Warhol, get fucked. Femme Andy Warhol can stay.
I don't know why I'm mocking. I would be too.
I just think she's cool. I'm already like, this lady is probably an asshole, but I'm like, damn, her vibes are cool.
Yes, ma'am. I will take her hand.
I bet you would.
Shut up. God. Agent McAndrews, this is Special Consultant Garcia Flores. We're here about and I'll kind of gesture with my chin towards the title of the exhibit.
Wonderful. Have you already been briefed on what happened?
Yes, ma'am, but I always find
Months ago.
that hearing it from the perspective of those closest to the situation is illuminating.
I couldn't agree more. We tell our own stories that way. Please, come with me. My office is just down the hall. Detective Moss is already there waiting.
All right.
You walk down two hallways, one of which appears to be an exhibit hallway, and the other one, when you take a turn, you realize is a staff hallway, sort of the administrative office portion of the facility, far less glamorous than the gallery walls that you've already walked past. Her desk is sparse, both in design and in substance. There's almost no clutter in her workspace, just a dock for a tablet computer and a paper tear-off calendar. She invites Saint and Alister to sit in the two hand-shaped chairs on the other side of her desk. A man in a dark blue long coat stands with his back to the wall. He nods once for the both of you. No need to overdo it. I realize I didn't introduce myself. My name is Hannah Harold. I'm the director of the museum. That gentleman over there is Detective Moss.
Pleased to make your acquaintance.
Detective Moss, this is Agent McAndrews and Special Consultant, was it?
Nods. Yeah.
Special Consultant Garcia Flores.
Does he...
And Alister
okay.
nodded.
Yeah, Alister's like, yep. Gives him the nod, is like, yes, you have remembered our names correctly. And does sort of diplomatically waits for a moment to see if either one of them is going to launch into a spiel before, if they don't start talking, he will, but he kind of gives both of them the chance to start first.
I think she lets you go first with a kind of, so what is it you need to know from us?
So can we just talk about what exactly it was I got ahead of time? Like, what do I know about this situation beyond artist in residence hasn't been heard from in 18 months? There were videotapes set, like old-fashioned tapes sent, and she's not letting anybody see them?
I think it's more specifically that she did not want to forward them away from. She did not want to.
She didn't want to lose her copies. Possession. Okay.
Yeah.
So we could potentially view them here. It's just that she's not like giving them out.
Yeah.
Cool. I don't think Saint was really briefed on much of this except for
he
guy is
missing.
Wasn't. Probably weird shit, and Saint's just like, all right, buckles up.
Yeah. Okay, so what is it that we're asking?
So I'm like Alister. I'm letting him take the wheel on this because Saint doesn't really know much.
Okay. Of course, I'll endeavor to put together as complete a picture as possible, but I understand that there are VHS tapes pertinent to the situation.
That's right, there are. We've received 2 tapes from, well, I can assume from Mr. Clayborn. I guess we can't verify that necessarily.
And are those tapes still in your possession?
They are, yes. She gestures to a CRT TV card like you would see wheeled out in a middle school classroom.
Hell yeah.
It's time to watch Bill Nye the Science Guy.
I was going to say, I start chanting Bill.
Let's watch some tapes, hey?
Yes.
I'm not saying that out loud, but Saint is like looking over at Alister.
Yeah. I think he looks over at Detective Moss. And just says, and will ask, Detective, have you viewed the tapes?
I have, yes. I was here when the second one was delivered.
Did it come through the mail, by courier?
We found it on the steps of the museum.
I assume that the CCTV had nothing.
Just somebody in a hoodie. Unidentifiable at a distance.
Nothing identifiable about the packaging?
Well, it's brown kind of cardboard envelopes. Available literally anywhere.
Alister will pull out a notebook and a pen and just start jotting some things down. And because I constantly complain that I have nothing in common with him, I'm giving him my favorite brand of notebook, which is Leuchtturm 1917s.
You're such a specific person, Ezra.
I cannot think of a specific favorite notebook I have, but I don't use them enough, I think, outside of puzzle games.
I use them for so much shit, and I have a whole bunch of handwritten shit for work and stuff, so
yeah, that's fair.
So yeah, he'll just start jotting some things down, and I think that he will opt to just not ask any questions about the tapes before viewing them, with the interest of not, biasing himself. I think that's something
I will actually.
Okay, yeah, I was gonna say
Alister goes to set questions. That stuff up. I'll pipe in. I presume that they're now, Your Honor. So I went a little bit to the wrong side of the South. I'm just a simple country. Yeah. I presume that there are no fingerprints or anything on the tapes, on the packaging, nothing like that. Nothing to identify who packaged it or moved it.
She kind of leans forward in her chair a bit and says, I don't think that occurred to me. I'll be honest, the tapes haven't left this office since we received them. I don't want to let them out of my sight.
Is there any particular reason for that, ma'am?
I mean, they're the only clues we have about what's happening at Waterfalls. But they're odd. I mean, when you have something like this, you don't want to let it go. These could be clues. They could be works of art in and of themselves.
So it's So it's primarily a professional interest.
And security, I would think.
Understandable. And your relationship with Mr. Clayborn, professional, friendly, combination?
Professional, sometimes friendly, sometimes adversarial, but we get along just fine when he needs to deliver work on time. Mr. Clayborn is on the board of the museum, and he has a permanent exhibit open. You may have noticed that the current one is open well past its expiration date. He was meant to deliver new work to us, but we have not heard from him in quite some time. You can see why this might swing the pendulum from friendly to adversarial.
Indeed.
Or it would be if we've heard from him. We haven't.
And is video an artistic medium he's worked with before?
Oh, everything's an artistic medium for him. The man sees art in everything, that's why we like him.
Has he disappeared like this before?
No, certainly not. He normally loves the spotlight. This recent phase of his, this isolation era that he's in, it's unusual to say the least. He has not let anyone visit him in his home for, oh my god, it's been 18 months now.
To clarify, when you say haven't let, you mean some people have tried to go out there and he's just not let them in? Has anyone... What is the attempts? What have they looked like?
I've tried to visit him. His publicist has tried to visit him. She gestures behind you to the detective. Detective Moss has tried to visit him. He's just not letting anyone into his compound.
His compound?
That's right. It seems you're not up on the art scene. I'll explain. Waterfalls at Dawn is his home. It's out in the hills just outside of Austin. It's absolutely beautiful. Part studio space, part workspace, part gallery, and of course, it's where he lives. It's fenced, and he just won't let us in past the gate. We've hosted numerous events there. He lets me come over when he has a new exhibit to show before it comes to the museum, but that house could be empty for all we know.
And to the best of your knowledge, who was the last person he let into the compound?
Well, that's where it gets a little complicated, isn't it? Detective Moss steps away from the wall and comes around to an angle in which he can see and address the two of you. He's standing directly in your field of vision. From there, it does get a little complicated. About 8 days ago, a museum employee by the name of Ray Butcher attempted to visit Mr. Clayborn at his home at Waterfalls at Dawn. As far as we can tell, his car was accepted into the compound, although Mr. Butcher did not himself return.
Any pre-existing connection between Butcher and Clayborn?
Harold answers. They've worked together before. Butcher is an exhibit designer. The artist may produce the art, but we have to find the way to frame it. Lighting, all that sort of thing. But he's trusted staff here. They've collaborated before.
Regarding this compound, it sounds like obviously studio space, workspace. People may have apprenticeships there or, work in those kinds of spaces outside of the artists themselves. Was anyone else living or working there at the time?
I believe it's just him. The detective speaks up again. After the first tape arrived, me and my partner, Detective Root, were hired to investigate what was happening at the compound. We were not allowed entry for the longest time. We did a stakeout that lasted about 3 days. On the final day of that stakeout, the gate briefly opened while I was on break. Root went in alone, and I'm afraid that's the last we heard from him. We've not been able to open the gate since, and his car is on the other side.
So there's now 2 people missing in addition to Mr. Clayborn?
That's correct. 3 people we can't account for, anyway.
Okay, so those have both been recent. Out of character, these motherfuckers are named Moss and Root?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Who doesn't love a thematic duo?
I do. Okay. Interesting. I'm kind of surprised the detectives didn't, fingerprint anything. But if they didn't, they didn't. And it's probably way too late to do it now. Everyone's been touching these damn things.
Forgive me, I'm not familiar with the layout of Waterfalls at Dawn. If it would be possible to obtain some kind of map or floor plan, that would be potentially useful. But you said his car was on the other side. Was it visible from the gate?
Yes, it was. It's just sitting there in the driveway.
Any other vehicles, including potentially anything belonging to Mr. Butcher, visible?
We saw Mr. Butcher's car just outside the garage. He's not in there. At least not that we can tell from afar.
And is the compound self-sustaining in any way?
Are you asking if he grows his own crops? No, I don't think so. He'll have to come out eventually, surely.
Okay.
Any regular staff,
Unless he has
cleaners, anyone who would be accustomed to coming and going on a regular schedule?
Harold answers that one. Dismissed 6 months ago. He had cleaners, he had a private chef. They are paid for by the museum. They were let go.
So there were people there within the 18 months he's been missing. They just were let go 6 months ago?
That's correct. But importantly, as far as we can tell, Mr. Clayborn hasn't left.
But they did see him.
Yes. Oh, people have seen him.
Okay, so it's only the last 6 months that nobody has seen or heard from him, technically.
Yes. Sorry, maybe I should be more clear. He hasn't been at the museum in 18 months.
Okay.
After he finished Optico, he was dead set on working on his next project. Wouldn't tell me what he was planning, wouldn't tell me what he was working on. None of that, just needed his alone time to figure out what his next big piece was going to be. It's been a quiet year and a half, is what I'm getting at.
Was that reticence usual, unusual? He strikes me as the kind of man who would want to discuss the subjects of his enthusiasm.
Normally he would. Mr. Clayborn is the kind of artist who always knows what he's going to do next. This is a oddity, to say the least.
I'm gonna nudge Alister, and I won't whisper it because this is an audio medium, but I'm whispering to him, we need to talk to the staff.
Alister just nods. That's definitely, if you look over at his notebook, that's like, I don't know.
On his notes.
It's like on his notes. He doesn't, it's not like he like writes in shorthand or something. Shorthand is so cool.
We're not Mita Jonathan. One last thing, I think obviously we both want to view these tapes if possible. To return briefly to my fingerprint question, these have been handled without gloves?
I'm afraid it really did not occur to us when they arrived. They've been touched several times since.
Okay. Nope, that's totally understandable. Just wanted to cover all our bases if we could. You never know.
We received an odd package containing these tapes.
You didn't know what they were?
They weren't even labeled. The museum gets odd submissions all the time. Somebody in the mailroom touched them. By the time it got passed to me, who knows?
Yep. No, that absolutely makes sense. I look at Alister. I think we want to watch them probably in received order, if that's possible, ma'am.
Absolutely. She reaches to a file cabinet behind her desk and unlocks one of the drawers. She takes out a sleeve that contains 2 VHS tapes. The sleeve, you can see, is the cardboard envelope that the detective mentioned a second ago. She sets them on her desk and turns them to face the 2 of you. As you can see, he very helpfully labeled them. You can see, in sort of a red marker, literally, 1 and 2.
This is a long shot, but Alister will go and will pick up the first tape. And I'd like to just take a look at it and kind of try to determine, based on things like, is the label still pristine and white and like completely glued down, or does it look like it's been, like, when you let VHS tapes sit or anything sit, like labels, a lot of times the glue will degrade over time, or like white paper will yellow. I just want to see if this seems like a videotape that was like manufactured a long time ago and he just had blank VHS tapes sitting around, or if it's like newer.
Great question, detective. Roll for it.
I would love to do that. I would also love to
Ezra's
locate
doing
my
that.
fucking dice.
Did she mention when the first tape arrived?
No, I don't think
Okay.
so.
I'll just, while Ezra's rolling then. When did these tapes arrive? Like what days roughly?
Oh, let's see. The first tape arrived 6 days ago. She looks at the detective for confirmation, who nods. That was
wow.
the day I hired the 2 gentlemen. And then the second one arrived only 2 days ago.
hold on.
And it was
hired.
short.
Are they private detectives?
That's correct.
Okay. I guess this is something Alister would know if the police have gotten involved yet.
That was that was gonna be my looking up from the tape. We'll just put my most like pleasant and least accusatory possible. Like this is just any other question. And just looks and says, "Ma'am, are the Austin police involved in this matter?"
I suppose indirectly, but we contacted the Bureau directly.
You could do that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Weird. I just never
Yeah,
would have thought of, like, I'm just gonna skip the local police part and go right to FBI. Like, what?
Depending on...
I mean, ACAB. I'm not contacting anybody.
Well, yeah, I mean, ACAB, I'm not, yeah, don't talk to the cops, but, like, yeah, it depends on what kind of shit's going on. If you have, like... Yeah, like anything you think is like people will report like stuff if it's anything you think is because it's the Federal Bureau of Investigations, which means that they usually deal with stuff that crosses state lines or anything.
Oh yeah, that's totally
like,
fair.
Yep. Sorry, I things I know from my job.
No,
like,
that makes sense. I just never would have thought about that. Yeah,
fraud stuff because it tends to cross state lines.
Goes directly to the FBI.
Sometimes the FBI will get involved as like the first line.
But this doesn't involve the compound is in like outside Austin limits. So why did can I ask why you went directly to the FBI as opposed to contacting, either the Austin police or the sheriff's department out there?
She shrugs in a way where you almost think she doesn't herself know the difference. It seemed important.
That's so fucking funny.
Alister.
Rich artist types are crazy, man.
It's like when people like at the U.S. government, like, hey, are my taxes done? At IRS.
Just at
like,
IRS.
Like,
I
well,
think...
this was important, so I went straight to the FBI.
No,
totally.
Alister,
That's so
Alister
funny.
wants to. Oh, okay, I need to get a thing in here because I feel like that's the kind of thing where Alister wants to like validate her choice as a way of building a rapport.
Oh, totally. I'm not gonna ask anything else about this.
No,
because I don't want her to feel stupid, right?
She said it seemed important, and I think Alister will look at her and just say, I appreciate your instinct to entrust the Bureau with a delicate matter.
We should contact the my guess is if it's outside of city limits, there may be if he's far enough out, we may be looking at state troopers or something, or sheriff or whatever. But we should see if anyone's reported anything weird out there.
Oh yeah, we'll definitely
potential neighbors.
We'll definitely have to look into that, but I don't.
Not now.
Alister's actually pretty pleased that the local cops aren't already in the middle of this.
That's true.
I mean,
just makes
the
harder.
meta reason is, I think, maybe that it should be obvious is I want just you two to deal with this and not there to be you show up and there's 10 squad cars outside the compound.
Well, this is the sort of thing that is there's no. These are all adults. There's no. I mean, until we watch these videotapes, on the surface, there's no indication of foul play. People do weird shit all of the time. Involving the cops in this kind of it makes sense that she would look for
it makes sense that she went to private detectives first.
Yeah, this is really at this point a matter between the museum and an artist who isn't fulfilling their contractual responsibilities.
Exactly.
It's not a cop thing.
And is not and also critically is not responding to attempts to contact him.
Yeah. The only reason I would think that you'd want to bring in, for example, the FBI or the police is when one of your staff goes missing upon entering his compound. Which then it becomes, obviously, a missing persons case.
Oh, this is delicious. Because does this mean that she tried to contact the Bureau and
you guys intercepted it?
Intercepted it?
That was my assumption. I was thinking that too. I'm like, did y'all steal an FBI case? Or did the FBI give you a case? Or did the FBI get this and think, none of our business. It seems like y'all shit. Who knows? Not me.
So
Anyway, what's your dice roll?
I rolled 3 neutrals and 1 positive. I'm assuming this is an investigate roll. The quality, perhaps the age, whether or not it's like I'd like to note the brand if I can. This being the kind of thing where like this is an out of date technology, so I might be able to pinpoint things like, okay, well, when did that company stop manufacturing VHS tapes? That kind of thing. I want to get some details on the hardware, and specifically I'm trying to determine whether I think that this was something that was like he had been holding on to this VHS tape for a long time, or if they were bought new. And also, if I like kind of pick at the edges of the label, I want to make sure it's not covering something else up, indicating that he might have taped something over.
Totally. Yeah, holding the VHS tape in your hand, you notice it is a bit aged. There are a couple ways you can tell, including that there's a chip or two in the casing, just from wear and tear and rough and tumble and all that. This is not the original label either. It is a 3x5 card that has been masking tape, like kind of framed onto the top of the tape. Whatever the original label is, it is perhaps under that. And again, red marker 1. But you can tell it's sufficiently old. There's also a scent from degrading plastic that I think we're all familiar with as game console owners.
Let's watch it first, but I would like to try to, if possible, peel that off and see what it was labeled before.
So I guess for critical context, I asked, well, through his publicist anyway, I asked him what he was working on. You understand, Optico has been up for a while. We were trying to determine really what direction the museum needed to move. We did not hear from him when we sent Ray to go check in on him, and then Ray disappeared. This is what we got back. She puts the VHS tape in to the VCR, and the TV switches from static to those kind of little lines and bars at the start of a VHS tape, drifting pieces of static that float up toward the top of the screen. Eventually, this kind of structure comes into view, blurry at first, but after a second, whatever camcorder recorded it auto-adjusts in focus, and you see that it is very large clay model of the museum, the very museum that you're in. To sort of highlight that point, a photo of the museum crossfades into the shot. The camera shifts past the details of the museum, details that the two of you should recognize, the big marble columns, the interior lobby that you just walked through, and then cuts back to the outside of the facility. After a second, a large shadow looms over this huge clay model, and a boot smashes down on the museum. The boot itself also appears to be made out of clay and mashes into the texture of the clay museum until they are essentially the same thing, but the original model of both are completely destroyed. There is a cut to the interior of the lobby, clearly a separate model if it wasn't crushed or perhaps filmed out of order, and the lobby is suddenly covered in little paper flames, drawn with marker on what is very clearly lined binder paper. This is odd, for sure, but what really is the cherry on top, what seals the deal here, is the maddening sounding screaming. Not from any source, not one that you can see on video, but it's overlaid with agonized yelling.
Jesus.
The video stops. Those same static lines move up and down the screen, and Hannah Harold turns to you and says, "So you see how this is concerning?"
To put it mildly, may we see the second tape?
Absolutely. As she takes that one out and tries to put it back on her desk and swap it out with the other one, she says, I mean, that's the kind of thing you can only really interpret as a threat, right? Hence why we had to hire private detectives for this. At which Detective Moss then adds, and the missing employee, as if she had forgotten that.
Alister kind of takes notes for just a second or two. The most obvious interpretation would, of course, be that this is some form of threat against the museum itself. You said that this tape was delivered after you had contacted Mr. Clayborn's publicist in the hopes of perhaps not putting pressure on him, but an alternative angle of making contact.
Oh, yes. I mean, I was trying to put pressure on him. We had not heard from him in 18 months. But yes, an alternative method of contact.
And this publicist, name...
Oh, sorry, Marissa Hooper. She's a publicist.
Has she been employed by Mr. Clayborn for the bulk of his career? Is this a new working relationship?
Oh, they've been working together for forever. She's frequently at the various galas that we put on. She's up in museum business all the time, she says, smiling.
And this is not anyone else we need to add to the list of those who have gone incommunicado.
Oh, no, I heard from her as recently as 2 days ago.
Just nods again.
No, as far as I know, she has not attempted to visit Mr. Clayborn at his home, and given the track record of the people who have, I'm glad she hasn't. She then turns to the detective and says, sorry.
What is Detective Moss's whole vibe? Like, how is
Well, it sounds like he just lost his boyfriend, so he's pretty bummed about it.
Wouldn't you be too if you had a thematic name?
Yeah, when you're being only one half of a thematically named duo is really quite traumatic. Does he...
Especially when you're the Moss half.
Fair. With that remark that she just made, is there any... do I see any indication that he perhaps resents her, the museum director, or that he's, like, freaked out about any of this, or angry, or is he, like... Is he giving off any signals as to how he feels about this situation?
Roll for it.
Okay. That, I'm assuming that's a rapport?
Yeah, rapport, notice. Whatever you want.
I'm gonna take, you know what? I would like to take notice. I'm better at it. That is... Okay, that's a flat dice. It's 1 positive, 1 negative, and 2 neutrals on the dice, so total of +4.
There's a bit of kind of he raises his eyebrows in a certain way that indicates that he might be a little frustrated by the experience. Certainly his coworker has disappeared, but perhaps the way that Harold is describing these various details as more of an oddity than a serious danger has gotten under the detective's skin a little bit. Basically just gave you a sense motive answer, but...
Yeah, I mean, that's what I was asking for. Sounds good. Yeah, that was really, I just was looking to... I'm going to try to talk to him alone later. Mm-hmm. But Alister's one of those people who is always trying to... He likes to keep track of the interpersonal relationships in a case, because that is often a complicating factor, let's say that.
Alister's the guy who made the relationships chart for Love Actually on Wikipedia. Was that a relatable pull?
I mean,
Alister's
I laughed.
Alister's the person who made the Memento timeline on the Memento article on Wikipedia. Which is, by the way,
seen that or watched all of Memento, and I can just imagine it.
It's a work of art.
Yeah, in previous decades, he would have been like very well suited to being the guy with the string wall.
It's not too late for him.
Okay. At some point, I devoutly want the boys to have an excuse to put together a string wall.
Dude, it could be this chapter.
Maybe it will be this chapter.
Yeah. Before we break into a building and probably die. Okay. I mean, we're about to have a Claire and Leon moment is what's actually going to happen to us. We're going to break into this building and get separated and then meet up again and then get separated and then meet up again and then get separated, and I'm going to adopt a child.
You have to we've created parallel routes.
Second tape?
Yeah, I guess we'll watch the second tape.
This one is a little more abstract. It's a beautiful work of art in and of itself, but well, until the end anyway. And presses play, sitting back in her chair.
And then Videodrome starts.
The images on the video are disjointed, to say the least. It's at the base of a tree that you see mushrooms, slowly, like time-lapse, growing out of the ground. The mushrooms barely move, but all of a sudden they're growing out of tiles. White tiles. Bubbles drift up from the sand, floating upwards to the top of a large tank. The camera tilts up slightly, and you can almost see a shadow overlooking the tank. Waterfalls falling off of a tiled surface. The roar of the water is almost deafening, much louder than the previous images. Suddenly, hedge clippers trimming the side of a topiary. The sound barely changes as it transitions from the roar of the waterfall to the roar of the engine of the hedge clippers. There is a clay figure resembling Hannah Harold, you can tell from the shock of white hair, standing on the grass on the lawn. It looks like a hilly surface. The grass blades are large enough to surround her. After a second, the hedge clipper zips through the field and cuts down the grass. The doll is knocked to the side, and a spray of clay goes in the other direction. An old flashbulb camera falls from a great height into the ocean. The same camera seems to hit the ground inside the home. It shatters into a million pieces. The final shot is of the very office that you're in. You can see Hannah Harold and Detective Moss sitting at the desk, in the very chair she's sitting in now. She's fixated on the same CRT TV cart in front of you. It takes a moment for her to register what she's looking at, but when it clicks, she jolts up, spine straight, and pivots toward where the camera is looking from. Her hands move uneasily across the desk. The detective turns around as well. As she starts to stand up, the tape cuts off. Only static remains.
Oh, I fucking hate that.
I'm gonna turn around and look at where the camera POV like would have been. I mean the yeah, that's the word I want.
Yeah.
At the end of that tape, like where the camera should have been.
There is a very busy bookshelf on the wall opposite of the desk from which the camera would have seen. It is a lot of art books, art theory, autographed, artist memoirs, that sort of thing.
Can I, while Alistair's doing smart stuff, or potentially joining me, whatever you want to do, I want to start kind of picking through that and seeing if I can figure out where a camera would have been or currently is.
Following Saint's train of thought, Alistair will look back to Hannah and just say, Miss Harold, on a floor plan of the museum, what is behind that wall?
Oh, that would be Ray's office.
And do you have a key to Ray's office? We'll want to have a look.
I don't. Somebody here must.
I'm sure your facilities department will furnish us with a copy.
I'll call.
Thank you. And I kind of look over at Saint to make eye contact with Saint to do the like, do you want a second pair of eyeballs over on that, or are you doing good?
We'll find out. I rolled 2 negatives, a neutral, and a positive. I have a +3 to investigate, so that takes me to a 2.
Sure. Flipping between the various books, you are not able to locate any sort of recording device.
Okay, I look at Alistair and I shake my head.
Hmm.
Can I try, like, pushing the bookshelf?
Sure.
Carefully sliding it to the side.
Sure. It's not a bookshelf. It is shelves on the wall. Holding up books.
Oh, I misunderstood. Okay.
That's okay. I don't think I specified now reading my description.
And so there's nothing behind any of the books either.
No. Yes, these are layered. These are just up against the wall on shelves.
Okay.
Okay.
These are, again, artist memoirs, like really like, art coffee table books. You might even think that these would be the kind of things sold in the museum's gift shop.
Okay.
Well, if it was there, it's not there now.
Books on process, coffee table books full of photography, that kind of stuff.
When this tape was received, did you already look through these shelves? This is directed towards, like, the detective and Hannah.
I did. I did just what you just did. I couldn't find anything.
Who has access to your office?
Unfortunately, a number of people.
Okay, fair enough.
And even so, I don't know how that managed to appear on the tape as we were watching the tape.
Sorry, so to clarify, the end of the tape, it was them watching the second tape, not the first tape? Oh, that makes things very different. I thought that was them watching the first tape.
Alistair will cut in, and he says, "You're both very sure that was a real-time image of you viewing the second tape, not re-watching the first one. Oh, okay, yeah. So Alister, like, puts his has been, like, writing, and, like, when like does the, like, full, like, looks up, like, pen down and looks between the detective and the museum curator very carefully a couple of times, and just says, "You're both absolutely certain that the end of that tape represents real-time footage of the two of you in this office viewing that videotape, not the first one received."
When I received that first tape, Detectives Moss and Root were not involved in this case.
And it's not something that could have been alternatively manufactured?
I have no clue. Art, video production is not my specialty.
We're in 2021 in this universe, right?
It's February 2020.
Okay.
What a great time to be alive.
Yeah, so we're at the point where, like, AI video is not... That's not something that people are doing.
No.
Yeah, that's why I was like, we're not at an AI video situation. Okay. I'll shuffle closer to Alister again, and once again I'm lowering my voice. I think we should talk to the staff. I don't know, I think it's worth checking out that office, see if maybe Ray had anything interesting, but I think we just gotta get to that compound. Whatever's happening here, we're not finding info here.
Alister just, nods. I think he might have a few more questions to ask, but I do think that it's gonna be we've gotta maybe do a little bit of research, and then we just gotta fucking...
We gotta do the damn thing.
We have to go to the fucking compromised location.
Yeah. We gotta get haunted, bitch.
No,
Seventh
don't
guess
go to the compromised
shit.
location. That's what I want you to do.
You're so sexy. I said seventh guess. Is that a relatable reference? Cool. Do you have any other questions for them? I think Saint is set. If we want to split up for reasons that are not interesting, I can go get a master key while you talk to them, and then we can go check out the office, since I don't have any other questions right now.
This is a weird... Okay, this is gonna be a weird one for mostly for Ms. Harold, who is presumably has met this dude in real life. Ms. Harold, how tall is Mr. Clayborn?
Under 6 feet, I guess, but
average height, not notably tall or short.
Precisely.
I will briefly also stand up and stand next to the bookshelf, approximating where I think that whoever was holding the camera would have stood. And I just want to hold my hand up like I'm holding a camcorder, assuming that this guy is probably roughly Alister's height.
Sure.
I just want to try to judge from that whether I think that it makes sense for someone of Clayborn's height to have been holding that camera from the angle.
Sure, that angle matches up in your estimation.
Trying not to give any indication that might have rattled him. He's got to be totally. He's doing the yes, I understand that was disturbing, but I'm totally cool. We're gonna figure this out, kind of a vibe. And he will lean forward and just say, Ms. Harold, is there anything else you can tell me, however possibly irrelevant, any detail that comes to mind about Mr. Clayborn? His sense of humor, is he a man prone to practical jokes, or being exaggeratedly facetious for comic effect? This sort of tongue-in-cheek jokes about something where that's fucking... I'm not articulating this well. I'm trying to come up with is he the kind of guy who would joke about firebombing the museum to get her off his back, kind of a thing, but I don't want to say exactly that. Is he the sort of man who would consider joking threats against the institution a form of jocularity?
Mr. Clayborn, is the master of many mediums. I don't know if humor is one of them.
Mm.
He's never done anything like this before.
But he is considered an artistic genius because he is the kind of man who is still capable of surprising the art world in a saturated intellectual market, is he not?
Absolutely. His art is truly one of a kind. Thought-provoking, visually stunning, everything you'd want. It's how the museum has done so well for ourselves. He's our featured artist, after all.
Of course. And his inspirations, would you say that they are from time to time unconventional?
I don't think so.
No noted interests in occult disciplines, spirituality. Is he a man of faith, would you say?
She chuckles a little bit. Are you suggesting he's copying Anton LaVey or something?
No, not at all, ma'am. Merely exploring all possibility.
I don't think he's religious. Not to my knowledge. He's made religious art, but I don't think that came from a place of sincere belief or anything. The Anti-David was more of a satirical work anyway.
Of course. Well, before we pay him a visit or attempt to pay him a visit, if possible, I would like to see the existing exhibit just to meet the artist first, as it were.
Oh, certainly. That can be arranged.
Thank you. I get this dude's previous exhibit as a baseline to get an idea of just how fucking bananas he's gone. Okay, Okay, I feel like I've got a list of people that we should try to either talk to or get some more information. I feel like that's probably not going to work because we're going to go into this compound and immediately be cut off from the outside world. But
I mean, maybe.
I don't know. I'm gonna assume that Alister, any research Alister wants to do, he's gonna have to do before they go in there. Because we're gonna go through the black hole device in fucking Event Horizon. Okay. I guess I'm trying to decide if I want to ask Detective Moss anything else.
They've been on the case for like 5 days or something. 6 days.
Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah.
Detective Moss, if you have any preliminary results or evidence that you're able to share with the Bureau, we would of course appreciate your input. I have a question about your partner.
Certainly.
When you were set up for this stakeout, did you make any attempts to interact with the gate or call the house at any point before you stepped away and your partner was admitted?
There's a buzzer box in front of the gate. We attempted to contact the inside of the house a couple of times. Dead signal. Couldn't get through.
Is your partner the kind of man who would is he the kind of guy who just has to try it one more time just in case it works this time? You know what I mean.
Sure is. For what it's worth, we know he's in there. Root and I, the walls are glass. They're tinted in a way that it's hard to tell, but there's some shadows on the inside that we're pretty sure is a person. I think he's home, is what I'm saying.
I think you're probably right. Well, we'll see about contacting facilities for entry into the other office. Has Mr. Clayborn ever published any architectural plans of Waterfalls, or are there any materials on its construction layout available?
Harold you see the light bulb go off behind Harold's eyes. Oh, yes. The home was co-funded by the museum, so as it's a work of art, we do actually have the floor plan. They're somewhere around here. I'll call about the key and the floor plan.
Thank you very much. I don't doubt that may become useful later. Mr. Clayborn, prior to this, has he ever been interviewed in his home or given any tours that were filmed, any meet the artist type television programs, anything like that would have a video of the inside of the home?
The museum has held multiple debut events at the home itself. It's part gallery space. There's archival footage around.
Thank you. He kind of just looks over at Saint to do any other questions.
I don't think so.
I
shake my head.
Okay, yeah, I really can't think of anything else that I think we're gonna, like, get off the, during the sort of preemptive session or whatever. Like, the preparing to go into the fucking zone.
Okay, yeah, no, my plan is, unless do you want to check out the office that's here, or do you just want to dip?
We can
after we get the blueprints.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I feel like we can check out the office. I don't think that the video was taken from that office. Like, I don't think so this either. I don't think this is a hidden camera situation. I think whatever's going on is way fucking weirder than that.
I agree.
And I think that Alister is ready to make that leap without needing to rule it out.
Yeah. And I think blueprints for sure. Part of me is like, I want to talk to the staff to see if they do anything weird, or if one of them has an access card to get in or out. But I have a sneaking suspicion we are going to roll up to the place and probably get let in so we can get saw-trapped. So I think maybe we could just try and go, and then if we can't get in, we should get, like, contacts for whoever was, like, head of staff or whatever. But yeah. I think we should just try and go in.
It's like, as much as I would like to say, can we try to talk to the cleaner? Can we try to talk to the chef?
I think we should just go for it.
Like, we can send information requests, but I also, just from a, like, meta-narrative point of view, have a sneaking suspicion we're gonna go in and, like, get trapped in there.
Yeah, agreed. And if we have the blueprints, we'll know kind of the layout of the house, so, like, we don't need... Yeah, I think let's just, like, fuck it. Let's fuck the minutia and just go.
Like, we could also say, like, we're taking one night to do some research and, like, plan ahead. Like, do we need anything? Like, do we want to take anything with us?
Yeah.
And then go tomorrow would be...
Yeah, we should plan with the idea that, like, we are going to get stuck in there until we get ourselves out. Because I think you and I both in and out of character know that, like, if we get in... we are in there until we are out. So we need to prepare for the fact that we're going to need to be ready.
Yeah. Can we say that, like, we can do a walk and talk while we go grab the, like, plans and the key from facilities?
Absolutely.
Cuz that'll get us out of this office and let us...
Harold stands up and plants her hands kind of in a triangle shape on opposite sides of her desktop. Gentlemen, I don't mean to rush you out of here, but we are very eager to have Mr. Clayborn and Mr. Butcher back, I'm sure. Detective Moss here would like to be able to see his partner again. I also have an event this evening. I'd simply like to say that the museum expresses its gratitude ahead of time in you helping us find our artist in residence. The museum thanks you, and I thank you. Let's get moving, shall we?
Of course.
Let's.
I appreciate you being so forthcoming.
What you've been listening to was ParaScience, a glimpse into a world unknown. It is an actual play horror adventure told to you through the Fate system. Our players are Ezra Kaye as Man in Black Alister McAndrews, and Matty Trumbo-Gomes as capable young man Saint Garcia Flores. As for myself, I was your game master and disembodied voice, Ben Hamlin. I also produced this show, with editing assistance by Matty Trumbo-Gomes. Our theme song was by the incorporeal Johnny Rinaldo, and our logo was created by the haunted visage of Terra Bosart. This show is brought to you by Infinity Break, where we're telling stories our own way. You can check out our website and all of our other shows at infinitybreak.net, and I would encourage you to join the haunted chorus of voices at the Infinity Break fan Discord, bit.ly/Infinity Talk. That's capital I Infinity, capital T Talk. We have a Patreon at patreon.com/Infinity Break, where you can start donating to Infinity Break for as little as $1 a month. Finally, if you listen through Apple Podcasts, don't forget to leave a review. Reviews help us rise in the podcasting charts and help more people stumble across our show like a body in the woods. That's all for now. Let ParaScience leave a lasting impression on you, one you can't escape. even when you close your eyes.